Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, I got Big Uncle Pooh followed on Twitter for your
Good.
recommendation there. I'm going to kind of hand it over to you if you have any questions for us about Texas Tech, whether it be in general, football, basketball, tailgating, I don't know, Big 12 stuff, anything, whatever you got, Jake.
Okay, so I'm familiar with Utah State, obviously, and Matt Wells was the head coach of Utah State before going to Texas Tech. And let me say this up front. I thought he was going to do better at Tech than he did. It just didn't work. He didn't mesh well. It felt like down there, etc. So can you help me understand what you feel like where things pivoted for Matt Wells in Lubbock?
Yeah, there's a couple different avenues. I mean, I think one right off the gate when he was hired, there were some big money donors that wanted it to go a different direction.
Okay.
And partly where that came from is Matt Wells was not a Texas guy and didn't really have ties to Texas, whether that be coaching or recruiting wise. Whereas this time around, we went the total opposite and got Joey McGuire, who is all in everything Texas and is hired that way and recruited that way.
Well, he's a high school
that was always
Texas, right?
Yeah.
Originally?
Yeah.
Won state championships and everything.
And so that's kind of where it started to fray from the beginning, you know. And he wasn't even a flashy name or hire either to get any fan base kind of going. Whereas Cliff, when we hired him, that was a flashy, obviously great looking dude, former quarterback, and we went total opposite so it was kind of just never going to happen. And then like roster wise, he wasn't given much from left by Cliff. So he tried to substitute that with a bunch of JUCO fill-ins, which he was really good at trying to fill in the holes of the roster, I think. And I think he left the roster better than what it was, but he had such a hard time trying to fill that roster from the beginning. It was trying to run on a slippery slope for him roster-wise.
Okay.
Yeah, and he never really recruited high school very well, so you weren't getting young guys, good classes, and being able to build them up. And then he had some shitty injury luck. Like our quarterbacks were hurt every single year. Last year we were playing on our third string quarterback, and so I don't think he had, he didn't have the best of luck with injuries either. But for whatever reason, it just didn't work out.
Okay, so on the football side of things, I got another question for you. How quickly do you think Joey McGuire can get Tech to being bowl eligible?
Man, I think as soon as this year we can get there. Now, I think like 6-6 would be exciting for us as a fan base. It's not necessarily about automatically being 8-4 or something like that. It's just about being competitive in games, showing up week to week, and proving that you belong on the same field with some of these teams that have, blown you out in recent years. So I think like putting together a team that competes week in, week out is exciting to us. And then, I think like Dustin kind of pointed out too, Wells left us some good players. Like we have some good talent on this team. We have a really good quarterback room that he's the reason that they're there. And so now you kind of add in, Zach Kitley, who, transformed Western Kentucky in 1 year. You're hoping that your offense takes a step forward, and then you're hoping that your defense, which brings back a really deep secondary, and then you've plugged in some pieces on the defensive line, offensive line. You're hoping all of that takes and that you're able to, get yourself 6 wins. 7 would be great, and then get yourself the bowl eligibility. But I think by year 2, if this year goes how we're expecting, I think by year 2 that we're expecting ourselves to be a winning football team year in, year out.
Yeah, and that's more where I was going to go because, like, next year our schedule is really tough. I mean, we scheduled NC State a handful of years ago, and now it's like, wait, they're what is this?
Dave Doran got a good team now.
Yep.
We're going to have a really hard time just kind of, but I think he's such a fire guy. He's not going to take no for an answer and like excuses. And give it another year. I think look at next year, like 23, and start letting these recruiting classes start to build up that he's starting to build. And it's gonna take off and be solidified for a little while, I think.
Okay, so I've got 2 more questions for you. One athletics related, the other one's kind of off the field stuff. Basketball wise, obviously they've built this program into what it is. You lost your coach to Texas. Is it gonna fall off at some point? Do you feel like, or are they built for the long haul? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we're built for the long haul in this. We've got, donors who are motivated to keep this basketball program
good
up there. We've got a coach in Mark Adams who loves Lubbock, who's from Brownfield, which is about 30 minutes outside of it. I actually went to high school with his daughter, so he loves Lubbock. He wants to be here. He's a defensive guru. And, we're recruiting well still. We lost some players last year, some key players for us in McCullough and TJ Shannon, but we replaced it with top transfers. We're starting to get younger players who are committing to us, a couple top 100 recruits. And so I think this is something that's here to stay. You're going to get players who want to come in, work on their defense, but also I think this year we focused on let's get some more offense in here and let's get guys who can create on offense. And so the success of the former coach, who we do not really try to name on here, definitely set us up. But I think Mark Adams has came in, and the energy of this program, and really a lot of it's built off the animosity for the previous coach, really did propel us and helped us, I think, have a really great year last year, but prove that we can still be successful without him. And that's translated into a lot of really good recruits, a lot of really good transfers. And I think you're just going to continue to see us be really competitive and at the top of, like we've said, the toughest conference in basketball.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the fan base is behind that. Like I mentioned, we pack in 15,000 in our arena very loudly. But it's almost like our coach, Mark Adams, has this mythical cloud above him, right? That his defense is another level. And it's players just want to come learn how to do that. And it's we get great offensive transfers that want to learn this defense because that'll make them a better NBA player. And now our recruiting is doing the same thing. So it's this just aura cloud of the Mark Adams defense, and it's just growing and growing. And he's such a smart guy and he likes his assistant coaches too. And they're a very smart group. And it's pretty awesome to see how well he flipped that around in 1 year.
Can I add one tidbit on the basketball front for you guys? I forgot about this. Fardaz Amak, big man coming in from Utah Valley University.
Pumped about him.
Tech fans are going to love him.
I can't wait.
Yeah. He is a fantastic player, can shoot the three at a decent clip. He's a rebounding freak. He's just a machine on the interior. Let me just say, Tech fans, you're going to love the kid. He's got a phenomenal backstory. He loves the dirty work. He loves to work. So let me just add that for you guys on the basketball front. Hey. Tech fans are going to love him.
Yeah, he was our big get, in the transfer portal, the big maple, what they call him. And so
big maple.
Yeah, we're all in.
They actually did I don't know if I have it in my office here, but so when they were kind of making a push for him for postseason awards from UVU, they actually sent us glass bottles of maple syrup in a maple leaf, and it has a picture of him in big maple.
That's
on
awesome.
It. So it's one of those cool things out there. All right, last thing for me on the Tech front I got for you guys. It's a kind of a two-parter, similar to what you asked me about BYU and Provo and whatnot. So I want to know the best place to eat in Lubbock, and what is the can't-miss thing at a Texas Tech football game?
Dustin, you want to take this one first?
Yeah. You're going to ask questions if you come to a Tech football game and see tortillas being thrown on the field at the initial kickoff, as we have a black horse and rider lead the team out onto the field. It's one of the most glorious entrances in all of college football. We always gripe that it doesn't get enough shine. So it really is pretty amazing. The tortillas, honestly, we don't even know where it started from, but it goes in waves. Every 2 years it'll kind of pop up, and then in a couple years there's only a few, and it comes back. I would expect with Joey McGuire there's going to be a lot more. Students just sneak them in their clothes as they come in, and then they just start flying. And honestly, you're that's it? And I'm the tortillas and an amazing horse entrance.
Yep.
That works. So Dustin, for you, where's the best place? If a BYU fan goes to Lubbock, where should they eat?
I'm going to direct them near campus. I'm not going to send you to the bar scene because I know that, it's not going to hit very well for y'all's demographic. I'm sending you right down the road to this little burger place called Spanky's.
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing burgers and sandwiches, but their fried cheese is about 6 inches by an inch and a half. They're massive, and they are delicious. They're the best. but they come in about a pack of 6. So you're going to need at least 2 or 3 people, maybe more, maybe 6, one for everybody.
Eat it by yourself.
Don't try to do this on your own. That you'll probably have a bad time.
Yeah.
But if you have a whole handful, a little family, go for it. Spanky's a great burger joint. Get the fried cheese. You'll have a great time there.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dustin kind of stole my restaurant there. I was going to mention Spanky's, and the best part about it, it's like right by the stadium, so you can go, get your burger, get your fried cheese, don't overdo it, and then walk over, and you'll get to see, the practice facility, and at that time the renovations and all that stuff going on, and then walk right into the game from there. A newer place in Lubbock that's pretty good. It's called Dirk's. Dirk's does chicken fingers and steak fingers that are really, really good. But the cool part about it is there's this old artist, Dirk West, who the restaurant's named after, and he used to do a bunch of cartoon drawings of our mascot, Raider Red, and also Big 12 mascots and stuff. And they have all of his drawings on the wall. And so it's a pretty cool look back into some Big 12 history, some Texas Tech history through his art, but also the food's pretty good there. So I would recommend that. It's also, not too far from the stadium either. So, and there's some really nice hotel, a new nice hotel over there. So you can stay at that Cotton Court, go over to Dirk's, go over to the game, have a good time. And then I guess my part would be outside the stadium, as we talked about tailgating. You don't have to drink to have a good time at a Tech tailgate. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of tailgates. There's a lot of good stuff, fun stuff going on throughout there. And kind of like y'all's fan base, it sounds like we really want to impress on people that Lubbock is an awesome place to be and have a great time. So people are super friendly, and they're going to, like you said, offer you hot dog, offer you, cold water if you need it, or whatever food that they're cooking. And there's always fun. Lots of food, lots of barbecue, lots of really cool places to walk by, lots of friendly fans. And so that's kind of one of the things I'll point out is just kind of walk around outside the stadium and see those tailgates and just kind of see what all the people are cooking up and having a good time. They'll probably stop you, talk to you, want to hear your story, and you're going to end up having a great time in Lubbock. So that's just that's what I'll throw out there.
Wait, I think BYU fans are excited to experience Lubbock. Like West Texas, we know you guys are a little bit of an outpost out there in the western part of that state,
right.
But that's the fun part about this. This is a whole new world for BYU, and I think BYU fans are really excited about it.
Yeah, I think it goes